Viewers, welcome back to the complete playthrough with Ajax. It's me, Dr. Benji FM, and we continue today with two games on the horizon. But first of all, two games which you played away from your eyes. It was a 5-2 win over Astra. It was quite a simple game, quite a straightforward game, and lots of goal scorers shown on the score sheet. Dolberg, Neres, and Kluivert all getting in on the goals. 22 shots, 10 on target. They had more possession, but we had more goals. Antti Latalik couldn't do it, despite the fact, he's done it before in Europe, but not this time. And then we played FC Dordrecht, maybe close to that, hopefully, maybe. And it wasn't actually as straightforward as you might think. 41 minutes, yeah, Klaas-Jan Huntelaar got a penalty, but then it took to the 93rd minute for Dolberg to get the goal. Montari got himself sent off on 57, so he misses a game today, which is really irritating. And you can see now from the tactics that we don't really play out of a ball-winning midfielder, and that's why he was brought in, to play that specific role. So when he's not here, we have an issue. We don't really have someone else that can play that role comfortably or very well anyway, so we have to change it up. We're going to play Van der Beek as an automatic central midfielder, and because we play attacking, it means he'll probably push forward more often than not, with Singraven sitting just in behind, hopefully, a little bit more defensively. In fact, actually, I'm going to put the defensive duty on him, so he sits a little bit deeper. Neither midfielder is really happy with this, which is not ideal, but we don't have that many choices outside of what we've got here. Onana's going to be in goal for this one. Veltman's going to fill in at right back. We're going to change things up. Odojule can't play because Veltman... Oh, sorry, not because of Veltman, because he's injured. Delet, Voba, and Dykes at the back. And then we've got, Singraven, Van der Beek. I think it's said differently. Someone pointed out, and I've forgotten what they said. So if you want to write that comment again, please do, so I actually read it this time. Dolberg, Sean, and Neres, Benedetto up front. I think that comment came on my stream, actually. That's why I'm thinking that I won't be able to find it, even if I looked for it. But two games today. Braga and this game against Vitesse, and we're going to kick things off with this Vitesse game. Our form, if we just show you the schedule again, is really good. 6 wins on the bounce. Hopefully we can keep it going. Ever since that 4-2 defeat, things have been picking up and looking really good. So hopefully we can continue it today with a league game, with a Europa game, and progress further forward within the save. Hopefully you're enjoying the series. If you are, drop a like, and let's get into this first game. They're playing a very narrow formation, which... you've got to think, in theory, will probably help me out. Pashley have been on a good right lately to go out there and impress me, and they seem relatively happy with that. We're actually going to select all players and just passionately say that we've got faith in their abilities, and most of them liked it, which is good news. There's a tunnel interview, which I just always pass off, but actually it's a Veltman comment, so we can offer that up. So I'm just going to have a quick sip of tea to make sure my mouth doesn't parch. It's a Liverpool mug. That came with me on the move, so that's good. Lovely. So, into this game we go. Tea's looking lovely, by the way. It's granules. I'm not a tea bags person, for those that were wondering. I'm sure you're all thinking, is that tea bags? Is that granules? So, good to know. Right. And we need to get sort of a lead in the league. The problem with Ajax is that often they fall off a little bit and then can never quite get back, because there's some really defined good teams in the Eredivisie. You need to start well, and we've got a corner kick. We've not started the game fantastically, but we do have this corner to be put in. Singraven's on it now, plays it back into the left side, and we're going to try and work something, I would hope. It's all quite pedestrian so far, but it only takes one ball, right? It only takes one ball. Benedetto, there, Neres hits the post and goes wide. I realised actually today, he's been playing quite a lot for Ajax in recent weeks and months. He's been sort of one of the key players for them. If you're an Ajax fan and that's not true, then what I read today was a lie. Ball played in. Benedetto with a lovely volley. I mean, that's what you want to see. The fans behind the goal go wild. Let's look at it in another angle. I think what I'd quite like there is behind the goal. That's what we're going to get as well. That was a stunning finish. He scissor kicked it. I think we're down the wrong end for this, but it will change, won't it? Yeah, this was a beautiful goal. We'll zoom right in so we can get a good view of this. Ordinarily, I'd skip these goals, but this was sensational. You can just see it there on screen. I zoomed a little bit too close, I think, and it couldn't keep up. But yeah, beautiful strike. 22 minutes gone. Take a 1-0 lead. And yeah, they've had the better of the game so far. So is that a bit of a smash and grab 22 minutes in? I'm not too sure. Ideally, we're the better side, right? That's what you would hope, as Veltman puts a ball in. And the clearance is headed away just about, but they're going to have to work it out because they're playing quite narrow and quite defensively. There's not that many obvious out balls. They've got one striker. Unless they're accurate with their passes out from the back, they're never ever going to find him. As we work it again on this left-hand side, ball in, Benedetto, almost a bit of a carbon copy of the first goal, but it doesn't quite convert, and we stay at 1-0. You can see from the recent events, they've had, I don't know whose recent events those actually, have we had more shots or have they? I'm not actually sure. Dolberg with it though, back up to Schoen, who's really far away. It's going to have to be a good cross. He just keeps it in, and the cross comes in. Wow, where is it going? Neres with a header, and as it tips over, no, it's a goal kick. Okay, good chance, great cross. I tell you what, to dig it out from there was actually quite impressive. As now they've got a chance. Serrero, I think that's how you say it. 4, that's easy to say. Botner, I assume that's the Botner that was once at Manchester United, Alexander Botner, unless he's got a relation, which I mean is possible. Now's DN. Ball all the way across to Dolberg. Great ball as well. Lots of men running into the middle. This is going to be really difficult to defend. Still, even now, it might be difficult. But the balls into the middle have not been good. Right-footed David Neres. What a first-time volley that is. 2 sensational volleys from our boy. Sorry that the mouse has been in the way. I've just realised that. 2 amazing volleys. I mean, show me that again in 3 dimensions. Dolberg on that side. It doesn't look like it's on at all. Dykes, he gets tackled. But then right-footed pulls out a sensational cross. And the first-time finish on that. I mean, the keeper's dumbfounded. Not expecting for him to hit it first time, clearly. And there we are, 2-0, looking good. And if we can take this form into the Europa game, that's what we're looking for. A lot of the league campaign, I suspect, will be us building for these Europa games. I'm interested to know, actually, do you want to see more league stuff? Do you want to see Europa stuff? Do you want to see a bit of a mix and match like today's episode? What do you think's more important, I guess? I think, for now, getting a good footing in the league, showing how we're progressing against some of the sides sort of at our level in the league. Hopefully bringing like the PSV and the Feyenoord games, because I think they're slightly bigger. Maybe someone like Alkmaar as well that have been decent 20 in recent years have been a bit of one of the bigger sides, you would say, shown with a strike put behind. Or do you want to see more Europa stuff, see us tested at European level? Of course, we saw Ajax be quite successful last year at European level. It'd be interesting to see if they can carry that on with a year in advance. And they've obviously sold a few players. Davison Sanchez obviously went to Spurs. That was quite a big loss. David Klaassen went as well, of course, to Everton. So there's been a bit of change at Ajax, and some of the key players from last season have moved on. But so far, so good. That was a really good half as well. 2-0, looking fine. And assertively say, I'm very happy with the way things are going. Keep it up, lads. And they seem to enjoy that particular team talk. So there we are then. I mean, so far, so good. I've got plenty to be positive about. I just hope we dominate games a little bit more. They've had more possession, which I think is fine. But against the better sides, really, you want to know that you're able to take possession of the ball and keep it, especially in this division. As the ball is cleared, it's going to be a chance for someone. Botner keeps it in our favour, and David Neres is through again, and he can't quite poke it in. It's still alive, and a slide tackle comes in from Casilla for Tez, and that's going to be that. Still 2-0, half an hour to go. I can't imagine this game is going to swing too much now. I kind of want us to have more of the ball. I might actually work on that a little bit. Because we're passing it into space, perhaps we're not keeping the ball quite as well. But I think team instruction-wise, if we can retain possession a little bit better, pass into space less, shorter passing, on control, we're 2-0 in the lead. So I feel like against this sort of calibre of team as well, we can take this, I don't even know if I'd describe it as a risk really, keep the ball that little bit better and improve it. We're currently on 45% possession. I wonder when the changes are made if that will switch up a little bit. Passes completed right now. We are at 77%, which is not the best. Botner's gone down. I think this could be the end of the highlight. But I want to see if these change. 77% then. And what was possession again? 45%. Now, we've got 20 minutes. You're not going to get a massive change, especially on the percentages. But in terms of passes completed, hopefully that will go up a little bit. This highlight is continuing because I've not confirmed the changes. You all knew that. You were all looking at it. You were all telling me. And I'm an idiot. So well done me. Already it's gone up though. Shorter passing, keeping the ball, controlling the play. It's a bit more Ajax, I would say. Van der Beek with a great effort. But it doesn't quite go in. I think it's Beck, maybe. No, I don't think it was that. I can't remember. Someone told me. And I literally can't remember. Possession-wise, we're gaining a little bit. 47%. If we can get that any higher, that would be great. And I think because we're comfortably... technically, we're a much better side than probably... nearly all the teams in the division. I think, again, the teams I mentioned before, PSV, Feyenoord, apart from those two boys, we are easily the most technical side in the division. I would be interested to know how we actually stack up against them. I mean, I could check that with a few of the stats. Passes completed, that's gone up to 80% now, and possession, it's climbed a little bit, but not a great deal, and we're actually seeing a highlight in favour of Vitesse now. The worst thing that could happen is if they score, because then we're going to have to change our system. Well, we don't really have to change anything, but we're all over the floor at the moment. I mean, we're just diving around. Nothing comes from it. I'm interested. We're on, 77%? It went to 80. By the end of the game, it has gone to, as this highlight sort of fills out, 81%. So if we need to, we can play a slightly more possession based system. I mean, it didn't improve massively, but we didn't really have enough time to do it. But our passes were certainly connecting better, and that might be something we can do in games in the future. If we know that we're winning them, then it's an opportunity to take control of games a little bit more, and then it gives us opportunity then, once we know that we can do it, and I'm aware that our team can do it, that we can start games in that fashion. And especially if it's against a good team and we're in a home game, maybe a big European game, for example, we know that we're able to control a game early on and then maybe switch to our sort of a more pragmatic attacking approach. Who knows? Right. Just a bit of tactical chat from my brain. Whether I can actually do that in Football Manager, I don't know. But I mean, for those that don't know, I did train to I did do coaching badges and stuff. I've done level 1 and 2, and I was done part of the B license stuff as well. And I've got a bit of knowledge, level 3 you can do as well. There's all sorts of different levels you can do. And I know I don't necessarily exhibit that in videos very well, and I played football for many years as well. But I do have a decent understanding of football. I feel like, as I say, I talk about it on a podcast, and rarely do I go into sort of the technical, tactical side. But there was a period in my life where I wanted to become a football coach. That was the thing I wanted to do. Once I stopped playing, it was, do you want to go into refereeing maybe, or do you want to go into coaching? And I went into coaching, studied it for 3 years, and it wasn't something I then went forward with. I had some medical complications that kind of, I don't want to do a swear, but it's the best word for the occasion. Kind of fucked everything. So it didn't go any further, but I feel like my tactical knowledge generally is quite good. I think if I was playing Football Manager without videos, I would probably take my time a lot more and do different things. But there's this idea that with saves, especially on YouTube, that there has to be more progression. And even when I consider this to be a complete playthrough, I still feel like there has to be a certain tempo to it, just because of what you're used to watching my videos. There's possibilities to slow it down, and I think people that have watched my stream have sometimes seen me go super sort of analytical with it and look at things in a slightly different way. But ordinarily, I've developed a style that I do videos for you, so I feel like I'm almost obliged to do that, I guess. So it's weird. There's a weird crossover, because I think there is a conception, or there's an idea, I think, within most people's minds that I'm a bit of an idiot at Football Manager, and I'm a bit clueless when it comes to tactics, and I think I do nothing to subvert that by the way that I play the game. But I guess I wouldn't. My understanding of it is I wouldn't treat real football in the same way that I treat a game. I realise now we're just having a conversation. If you enjoy the conversations, then please do let me know, because I will do more conversations. I quite like this. I quite like the fact we're just sort of sat here chatting, but you're not replying. I'm thinking team-wise, do we go with the same lineup, or do we bring Montari back in as this sort of defensive ball winner in the middle? He's been sent off though, and I don't like the fact that that's possibly in his arsenal, but at the same time, I want that ball winner next to him when he does play. I think he actually offers a little bit more solidity because he's got the experience as well. Dolberg's an interesting one. I'm not sure whether we put him up top. He's certainly got a little bit more energy than Benedetto, and he's certainly got more potential than Benedetto, and I don't want to stifle that. At the same time, it's similar to like a Rashford or a Martial situation, that I've got a striker that can probably score goals, and I want to get him in the team and play him. And it's not going to be a case where he's going to get to play in his preferred position. He's going to have to just settle for game time, but out of position. But at the same time, he can then learn that position. And I think if this was a more long-term save, then that would be far more useful to have him become sort of natural in a number of areas, rather than just have him as a striker, play him as a striker all the time. Then again, there's a balance there, isn't there? That's whether you want to progress a young player and develop him in lots of areas, or really focus and hone in the skills of a striker to become a really good striker. I guess an example of that, I'm kind of harking back to a previous save that I did, but if you watch the Spell save, I know, what a save that is by Onana. That was lovely. I had an Albanian striker called Dorian Heise. If you watch Spell, you'll certainly know who I'm on about. And with him, it was get him to play as a striker. It was a regen, and it was just, that's his position. Don't try and make him become a wide player. Don't try and develop him in different areas. Don't even make him an attacking midfielder. Just let him become a phenomenal striker. And if the player's got the ability, then you can let that happen. I don't know how good Dolberg gets on Football Manager. It's a bit early for me to know that, for example, but I suspect he becomes very, very good this year. He's very highly rated within Europe. And it'd be interesting to see, because I'm going to keep within this world, unless anything goes wrong from beta to main save. We're going to keep in this world. I don't know if people are aware of that, for the whole save. So when we resign from Ajax, we will take a job at a different club. in the next season within this world, and you're going to get to vote on that. I'm not sure whether we do it in a way that I apply and we keep the same manager, or I just take what a strike that is from Hassan. Holy smokes, Braga with the goal. That was a really nice finish, and we're giving him a little bit too much of the ball, I feel. It might be time, actually. We talked about it in the previous game. It might be time to sort of go a little bit more possession based and keep the ball a little bit better. And again, we're in a home game in Europe. We don't necessarily need to force the issue as much. We can try and work things. We can try and create openings. And I think we should. I've just completely lost my train of thought for what we were talking about a moment ago. I don't know if it's going to come back to me. I don't think it's going to come back to me. I'm actually finding that having this as a conversation and telling you things rather than just talking about the action on the screen, which is quite simple and quite easy to do, makes this video actually more enjoyable to make. So I don't know. I guess I quite like this. Maybe what would be nice is if people gave topics for me to talk about. I will say that over the weekend I'm away, so I'm going to pre-record some of the Ajax videos, so to make sure there's videos all weekend. There's not going to be any change to the scheduling of what we upload, as they put in a second. But yeah, I think from starting sort of next week onwards, I would love to have topics to talk about. So if there's certain things you want me to go over, or whether it's Football Manager based, it's sort of like we did last year of sort of question and answers, but maybe with something a little bit more, I don't know, something a bit deep. I don't know. I don't know. I'm leaving the floor open to you really to decide. The ball's put in. We should probably get rid of the stats because that's massive on the screen. And as the ball's put in the back of the net, we're just a bit stationary, I feel. And we're not very reactive to the situation. Now they've got 2 goals. It's our second game. This is difficult because it's the second game. And, oh, hello. Shown. Okay, this is the sort of game that you need to be competitive in, because otherwise you don't really know how your group's going to look by the end of it. If we take a look at the group, actually. Braga sit top of it if they obviously beat us. We've got Astra and Zoya, I think it is. While I think we will definitely go through, you want to go through as group winners, and obviously Braga are going to be our toughest test. As the Poco another one, I think it's offside though. I think, yeah, he likes to switch his flag up, so that's fine. Still 2-1. Let's have a think about this a little bit more. Obviously, this is a longer episode because we're doing 2 matches. We'll try and mix it up. We'll do 1 and 2 because I think sometimes people quite like to dip in with one game, but then again, some people like a longer episode. And I think there's a balance to be found as Montari goes close from outside the box. You can see though, from when we have that attack, we've got plenty of players forward. 8 players in that attack. So systematically, we're going to create openings because we've got players there for that to happen with. Schoen puts the ball in towards the back post. It's headed clear out to Dolberg, who's not having that much impact. He didn't have that much impact in the last game, really. And he's not having a massive impact in this first half, especially. It might be the sort of thing where you bring on a pacey winger and put him up front because Benedetto hasn't scored. I mean, if he wants to score right now, cue it. Oh, what a strike. He actually went for that, Montari. He loves a long-distance shot. I can get on board with that. He might score a couple of bangers this season if he keeps up with that. Showing to put the corner kick, in, and it's headed clear. Interesting, he does it again. Doesn't really come to anything. But yeah, maybe I should... I'm just sort of... I'm thinking while talking, and I don't always do that with FM. I guess I do when I stream more, but within a video, this calmer, chatty side of me doesn't come out in videos as much. But I think I would like it if the complete playthrough series became a bit more like that and less animated, because I think there's a nice blend there. I think the Arsenal save that we've got right now is a lot more upbeat, whereas because there's, I think it's the nature of the save as well. Like it just there's quite a lot of exciting things going on every single episode at the moment. Whereas with this, there's more of a process going on. I sound a little bit Brendan Rodgers at this point. Benedetto plays out to Veltman. I did a halftime team talk throughout this, and because I was chatting, I've missed it completely. Dolberg doesn't quite get the right side of that. And I'm going to actually put him up front. I'm going to make this change quite early in this half. I think he's a lot more dangerous there. Yunus is going to come on that right side. I'm actually going to bring Ziyech on this side. I think both players offer slightly more direct football. Neres has played well for me whenever he's played, but I think quality-wise, Ziyech just edges him. So we're going to get him on and see if that makes any impact. We've had the bear of the game based on the stats. So let's hopefully see if it can continue furthermore as Van de Beek into Sean. Where's he going to go? We've got a few options. Montari, he's got either this one down here that you can find. No, he goes a little bit further forward. I quite like that, though. I like that he looks for the forward pass more. I hate those situations. You very rarely score. Like, how often do you see a player cut it back across the keeper, for example, and pop it in the far corner? You never really see it. And it takes, like, a really good player to smash it in the near corner as well. Like, it's just never going to really happen. But we're building nicely. I mean, after going 2-0 down, we got the goal back, and the ball's played in. Dolberg's there, down to Montari, shot on goal, and he's had a few sighters. And now finally, from 20 yards, Montari repays the debt of his red card previously. Assist from Dolberg as well, playing in that attacking area, and makes it 2-2. With 20 minutes to go, this is hotting up a little bit. This episode's already gone 20 minutes, but I don't really care when it's like this, because I think the chat's been quite nice. There's an opportunity maybe to make another change. Bring on maybe Huntelaar for Dolberg. I mean, it's a little bit late in the day, but I think the experience of him might just be the key in this really latter stage. We'll put him in there as an advanced forward. You never know. Clever bit of movement, final touch on a move. I think I fancy Huntelaar to maybe make it. There's no Braga with a chance. It's played in, it's knocked down, and it's found the back of the net. I can't imagine my change has done that. This is why I don't like. This is why, like, some games I just don't like making subs, because I feel like sometimes with the game you make a sub and it's just a negative impact. I don't think Dolberg would have had much to say with that. I mean, set pieces are broken, and we really do need to have an episode where I go over them properly and at least learn them for myself, not just for this Ajax team. There's a highlight after the goal though, so we might end up with something from this. Eunice is going on a crazy run, and again shoots some distance. It's just a waste. Like, your chances of scoring, like the percentage of getting that in, is probably less than 10%, which is a bit annoying. I'm just going to finish this tea before it goes cold. It might have already gone cold. This will be a fun test. It's warm. You know, when I had the sip earlier on, it's about 15 minutes ago, so it's not in its best form. We'll put it that way. Right, final chance, I think, to get something from the game. It's up to Huntelaar. This is probably where you want Dolberg, to be fair. But Huntelaar, good hold-up play, apart from the pass, which was abysmal. We've probably got one more chance, 3 minutes. This is, you would imagine, the final highlight of the game. We've given it away as well, which is not ideal. Hawthorne's a really good player. Keep an eye on him. If you're looking for like an attacking player, I mean, the fact he's at Braga suggests you can probably get him for most European teams. Definitely look, if it's who I think it is, definitely look at him. And it looks as if they're now going to come away. Ball over the top, Paulinho's running onto it. And this could be another goal for them, and it is. I could have done better in my opinion, but that's going to be 4-2. And interestingly, we've not lost many games this season, but this will be the second one that we've lost 4-2, which is frustrating, I think is the word I would probably use. We'll skip the replay. We've seen it before. And I guess there's more we could have done here. I could have gone to a slightly different system. I felt like we were in the game though. I felt stats-wise, based on what we were seeing, like this possession style was actually working quite well, and we were getting a nice grasp of the game. It turns out it's not quite come to fruition. I mean, maybe don't take Dolberg off, and then maybe you have a different result. I don't know. Maybe we've gone to win it. But you look at the stats, I thought we were in a position where we were dominating, and we just needed to finish something off. And Huntelaar would have been good for that. But never mind. 4-2 defeat then. You can't win them all despite the result. I'm pleased with the performance. I'm not saying that. Let's think about it a little bit. Can we say, simply put, not good enough. We can't afford to be losing games like that, especially in Europe. And let's take a look then. When will we next meet? There's a game against Heerenveen. Now, Heerenveen, once upon a time, were a pretty decent outfit. So I think what we'll do is we'll check in on Heerenveen and we'll see how they're doing so far in the league. They are very much mid-table. Feyenoord, you can see it already. Feyenoord, PSV, Sparta, and Vitesse are right up there. Are we playing any of the biggish boys? Sparta, okay, so we'll come back. We'll just do one game next episode. We'll do the Sparta game, and then we'll do maybe some Feyenoord action. Maybe I'll throw in a Europa League game, who knows? But that'll be the one after that. So Sparta next time out. Hopefully you're looking forward to it. If you've enjoyed the chat, the comment section, let me know. Hopefully you have. And yeah, we'll do more like this hopefully in the future. So we love with care. Until next time, I'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye. Waving. How long was this? 23 minutes. My God.